are you seeing online?
We're seeing lots of material to promote the event. It's worth remembering as well that the day, November 2nd, was chosen in memory of our two colleagues at our sister station RFI. That's Ghislaine Dupont and Claude Verlon, who were killed in Mali last year. The RFI are reporting today that the investigation is in a decisive phase, and Fabius is saying that their deaths will not go unpunished. However, of course, the same can't unfortunately be said for many other crimes, which has inspired this campaign. So we're seeing the hashtags Fight Impunity, End Impunity. It's lots of different hashtags, but they're all speaking with the same voice. They're wanting to bring to justice the perpetrators of the crimes against journalists. This on the Reporters Without Borders site, we're seeing lots of examples for France 24 and a correspondent who was tortured, and it gives you the ability to interact with the people, with the heads of state. So you can tweet about each individual case. You can contact the different heads of state, send something to the Prime Minister of Lebanon, for example, or the President of the Ivory Coast. So that's one side. Another one here is giving us a graphic explaining what the culture of impunity is and why it should go. And then, of course, earlier in the week, we saw lots about the report released by the Committee to Protect Journalists, pointing out that 90% of journalist murderers get away with it. And this site it details the reports, explains why it's important, and also another graphic on the site from the Committee to Protect Journalists basically highlights the portraits of the journalists who have been murdered. There's been hundreds over the past few years, and it gives the names, dates, places and so on. So we are seeing tweets, of course, we've seen tweets highlighting this campaign. Of course, the Al Jazeera journalists who are still incarcerated in Egypt under the hashtag Free AJ Staff. This one example pointing out that journalists have been, journalism isn't a crime, and yet these people are having to pay that price. Other people tweeting about how we should think also of people, citizen journalists, social media, when people are harmed doing that job in what are so-called silent zones. We should also pay attention to that fact. And a more light-hearted one to finish. Someone saying, what's the most dangerous type of journalist to be? Someone saying it's dangerous to be a gaming journalist. Another person saying, of course, the primary danger with a gaming journalist would be type 2 diabetes.
OK, Hala, you're going to move us on now to Burkina Faso. Of course, it's been our top story for the last 36 hours or so. How has it been handled in English-speaking social media?
Well, we're starting to see these images now, the dramatic pictures of the Parliament up in flames. Some people have been tweeting, why don't they call him the regional mediator? Oh, yeah, it's, Blaise himself. So pointing out the ironies there. But for the most part in the English-speaking world, they are just starting to come round to the story. Here we have this is the final tweet where he has now resigned, his final tweet signing off. Some reaction coming from that. Well, he's saying, God bless Burkina Faso, signing off as president of Burkina Faso. Some people are saying, well, shouldn't it be ex-presidents that you're signing off as? Other people, we're seeing some more humorous, light-hearted things. Generally summing up the moods, like people say, where is Burkina Faso? This is the parody account from the Queen. She's saying, doesn't one own it? It's, where is this place? So in response, we're seeing things like a beginner's guide to the Burkina Faso crisis popping up. And a lot of these places are referring coverage to France 24.
Good stuff. Hala, now it's October the 31st. It's Halloween. What's trending?
Of course, we are seeing some dodgy Halloween costumes trending, particularly this year. One of the trends appears to be more unsavoury costumes. Someone tweeting from Glasgow, I've just seen Osama bin Laden punch up the Lone Ranger. Of course, we're seeing a lot of this dodgy stuff. We've got the ISIS terrorist girls, an Ebola nurse, and Ray Rice, the NFL player who beat up his wife. So some quite unsavoury costumes popping up. A lot of ISIS, for some reason, appears to be trending, which is pretty dodgy. But a lot of people focusing in on the Ebola one. It's like Ebola's a tragedy. It's not something to be made fun of. BuzzFeed pointing out that you can buy a sexy Ebola containment suit for $59.99. You can offend everyone within a 20-foot radius. This chap has decided to dress his house up as the Ebola house. But people have been responding to it by saying, look, you know, it's quite an unsavoury topic to do it. One person tweeting here, which is trending, it is more than a Halloween costume, forwarding to a link which enables you to use the money that you would be spending on your Halloween costume to actually donate goods to the doctors of the world.
That man with the Ebola house, he definitely has too much time on his hands. Helen Mahadine, thank you very much for bringing us Media Watch. Now it's time for Focus, and it takes us to Egypt. Since the ousting of